I arrived on a Sunday morning on my birthday 21st with no money, no credit card, no plan, in a new country. And it was a public holiday, so everything was closed, embassy was closed.
Meet Palle, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
My name is Palle, and I'm a long-time radio producer. In 2013, I started planning to become a digital nomad and a full-time traveler. 3 years later, I had sold my house, my car, and all my furniture. And in July 2016, I set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. In this podcast, I'm taking you along on my journey. And I'm sharing my ups and downs and let you listen in to conversations with some interesting people I meet along the way.
This is the Radiovagabond podcast.
Welcome to the Radiovagabond podcast, and we start this episode on the train from Fez to Rabat. Edward, he's doing a vlog. He does small videos for YouTube and Facebook, the same way as I do this podcast.
So, welcome guys to the train. We're heading to Rabat, which is, I think, the capital of...
I think so, yes.
Yes, the capital of Morocco. And Palle here is my good friend from Denmark, who is also a digital nomad. And I'm on my third month at the moment, so this is gonna be exciting. And
you're the rookie.
I am the rookie, yes, for sure. And yeah, we're gonna be traveling together.
And now that we're here, let's get to know my travel companion a little bit better. I've known him for 3 years, but he's known me much longer. Well, not known me, but when he was just a kid, he was listening to me on the radio doing telephone pranks. His name is Edward.
My name is Edward, and I'm from Denmark as well. And I work in digital media as a business mentor, helping entrepreneurs, which everything is online, so I can travel with that business. And I'm excited about my journey as a digital nomad. I'm just starting out.
You're just starting out. First of all, how old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29.
Yes.
And what made you take that decision to leave Denmark behind and set out as a digital nomad?
Yeah, I've got this friend of mine who I met a couple years ago. I actually knew him from when I was a child. He used to be someone I listened to on the radio, and I was like, this guy is pretty impressive. And we did some masterminding together in terms of speaking and our business, and he had this crazy idea of going traveling, and he showed me this big map of the whole world he was going on. I was like, that looks fun. And then, as you know, Palle is now traveling for 16 months, and I thought, you know what, I'll join that journey as well and see what that is like. And I was kind of in a situation. I'd been to London for a couple of months working there, and I was meant to get a contract to keep working with this partner, but we decided that it wasn't the best match. And so I was coming home to Denmark, and it was cold, and I was like, well, I can go back home here, or I can take my business now and I can just head out. So
and like you said, you started, was it 2 months ago?
I would say full on setup, where I left the country in Denmark and I took everything with me. It was about 2 months ago now. But really though, it started, I think, earlier than that, because it started when I was first traveling in Norway, which is about 5 months ago now. I went for an event. I was helping out as a team leader there, and then we were in Barcelona as well. And then after that, I went to London. So really, my journey started before that. But this full-on setup, as I've got everything in my suitcase, everything with me, and just living on the road. That's been for the last 2 months.
What's left back in Denmark? Do you have stuff in storage?
I have some stuff in storage I want to sell. I got my DSLR camera that I want to get rid of. I've got this little scanner that's it's tiny, but I want to get that sold as well, and some books.
And furniture?
I have an apartment that is being rented out.
Oh.
And there was some of my old furniture there, but it's not something that I actually want to keep. So I think if I come back, and when I come back, I'm gonna get rid of that and I'll get something new.
Yeah. So you rented your apartment out long term, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was meant to be staying there myself, and it was a very beautiful apartment we just got in. And I was thinking, this is gonna be nice here. I've got my own place, nice carpet, 5 rooms, close to the center. I was like, I don't want to stay here. I've been here. I've done this before. So I found 5 very nice, very sweet Romanian girls who were looking for a place to stay, and they took over the entire apartment.
So 5 people in your apartment.
Yeah. and 5 good-looking Romanian girls, just to clarify that one as well. And here's the reason behind that, because like, if I'm gonna come home someday, I don't want some like, you know, guys ruining the apartment, but 5 girls who are gonna take care of it and make it look prettier. I'm fine with that.
So do you feel you have an end date to this, or are you going to do a year? Are you going to do 10 years? Or do you have any plans?
Currently, as I'm looking back in Denmark and saying, do I want to move back there? There's a no in me that I don't want to go back. So, I'm just starting out the journey, so it's in flow and everything is just happening as it is. But I've planned so far that, you know, starting here, I went on Europe for a bit. Now we're in Africa. Probably next I'll go to Southeast Asia, travel around there, you know, do India, Nepal, Malaysia, Thailand, these countries again. Then go to Japan, and then I expect to go to America to do a full-on road trip throughout all of America. And I don't know how long that's going to take, that journey.
Sounds as if you have a plan.
There's some ideas.
That's gonna change it. Talking from experience, it's gonna change so many times. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have that much. I have a dream, and I have a direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Currently, it's south, and then it's gonna be east later on.
Pretty good. And as I was decided to go to Morocco, I asked you, why don't you join me here? And here we are on a train from Fez to Rabat.
Yes.
And it's I don't know how long we're going to be traveling together, but maybe a few months. I'm just looking. We haven't really talked about that.
No.
But the plan is that we in Rabat we try to get some visa for some of the other northwestern African countries, and well, just take it from there and see how it goes.
Yeah, and what I love about traveling with you so far is that my journey has been planned about a week forward so far. Like I said, the plan always changes. I was supposed to go Denmark, Portugal, Spain, France, but I went Denmark, Portugal, London, Denmark, Istanbul, Rome, which was not part of the plan at all. And it's been so far planned a week ahead. That's been it. And with you, I feel that there's a bit more planning involved and a bit more.
Well, I don't know. Maybe just a little bit, because as you were about to fly to Fez in Morocco, you thought, well, I better need to find a place to stay tonight.
Yeah, that's when I booked my hotel or my Airbnb, as I was in the plane before takeoff. And the only reason I had time for that was because the flight was delayed. The flight was delayed. I had Wi-Fi, and I had also I had local internet in Italy. So as I was sitting there preparing for takeoff, I'm like, I haven't got a place to stay. And this was like 10 in the evening. So I would be arriving at about midnight. And
No, you're kidding. It wasn't that close.
It was that close. I was sitting in the middle of the evening in Italy before takeoff. The flight was delayed. And I think it was literally just as I booked. I think that was the universe also helped me out a little bit. Like, you need a place to stay before you go, young man. So the universe was saying, okay, we're going to delay the flight until you have something booked. As I had it booked, I had the confirmation. I think 5 minutes afterwards, the plane took off. This is how that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a week ahead. That's how much I plan, just about, and not even that much sometimes.
This episode is brought to you in part by this website called hotels25.com. And this is a cool website. It helps you find the cheapest hotel rooms around the world. Whenever you need a hotel anywhere in the world, go to hotels25.com. That would get you the best price. Hotels25.com searches a bunch of the biggest hotel sites in one simple search. Hotels25.com. It's best price guarantee. After a few days in Fez, I got on a train in Fez and drove out to Rabat. It's closer to the coastline. It's still in Morocco. And Edward, you're still here.
Still here.
Still here. Still hanging around. And like I said before, Edwin and I were planning to travel for a while. And so we went. Well, or I went because you have a thing about not booking anything until a few hours
The very
before.
last moment, that's when I book.
Yeah, so...
When it's almost too late, that's my time.
Yeah, but I got on Airbnb yesterday, and I was looking for apartments and found a very cheap one. It looked like it was close to the water, which it is, and in a nice neighborhood. We never know really about the area of a place until you get there. But it had 2 bedrooms and a kitchen and a bathroom, and it looked very nice on the pictures.
Bed, looked very pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. And we got there, and technically you could sleep 4 people there, but it was super tiny. And there was 1 bedroom, nice big bed, and then there was a
living room.
A living room
with a very nice sofa.
With a very nice couch. So yeah. So and Edward, being the younger, said immediately, well...
I volunteered because, age before beauty, so I said, I'll volunteer for the couch.
Yeah. But like I see it, it's just you put money in the bank because the next time you get to choose first. So... And you just felt the mattress on the couch first, and it was okay.
It was okay to sleep on, yeah.
So that was your strategy was.
You really think that I would think that far to think that then I had one?
No, not really.
No, I would never.
Not really. It was pure friendliness.
Yeah, it was pure just generosity of me and thinking
Yeah.
I'll take this one because I'm just such a nice guy, and not because I think next time then you will be more lenient towards giving me the bed and you will sleep on the floor. Then it's not about that at all.
No. But here in Rabat is where we find all the embassies that are in Morocco. They're here in Rabat. So I got a list of 4 or 5 countries that we want to go out and collect some visas for. Primarily in the northwestern part of Africa. So that's the plan. We booked the place for 7 days. Maybe we'll go for a trip to Marrakesh. I think we will.
We could, yeah.
Yeah.
We can. We can do anything. That's
and also maybe a trip to Western I was just about to say safari. Western Sahara,
Safari.
Which is technically a part of Morocco, as far as I can see, but there's a bit of a conflict between the 2 places, so it could be interesting to go down there and see.
The country line was dotted.
It was a dotted line between we should really make a note that research something about what I'm talking about before actually doing it.
No, with you on the journey, though, we'll discover things together.
Yeah, okay. But right now we're walking around. We came a few hours ago and we wanted to get some lunch, and now we're looking for a restaurant, and we managed to find one, saw some people eating. So we sat down and said, can we have the menu? And they said, no, the kitchen's closed. We closed just a few minutes ago. So here we are with a cup of, you have a mint tea, and I have a
sugary mint tea.
A very, very strong espresso. So, and then walking around discovering a little bit about of our neighborhood, the new hood here in Rabat. It's the big visa hunt that starts now, and I'm just about to lock the door here to the apartment. And we had some work to do this morning, and so we couldn't get going right from the morning. I've heard that it's best to be at the embassy and when they open in the mornings, but we had some work to do, so we couldn't leave before 12 o'clock, and now it's 2:30, and that's because I called one of the embassies, the Guinea-Bissau embassy, and asked them about the address, and they gave me the address and said, make sure that you have a copy of your passport and a copy of the ticket. And we did not have any tickets. We don't have any tickets. We don't even know when we're going to be in which country, but we had to create some tickets, and now we're off. First, we need to find...
I like how you say creative tickets.
First, we need to find a library where we can hopefully copy some stuff, and then off to the first embassy. And I don't know if we're going to be able to talk to someone today. I don't even know when they close, but and it's work in progress. We're still on a quest to get the tickets printed, and in order to go to the first of 4 embassies. So I have these tickets here as PDF files, and we started by going to the big library, and they couldn't help us, but they told us where we could find an internet cyber cafe. So we managed to find it, and this is where we are now. And they have 6 computers or 8 computers that are very, 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 very old. And as I started speaking right now, I tried to open one PDF file, and it still hasn't opened. But eventually, it will probably open, so we can get them printed out. Yeah, it's open now, and this is file number 3 out of 8.
You're listening to the Radio Vagabond podcast. Before we continue, I want to remind you that I have a Facebook page where I share a lot of thoughts, pictures and videos. You'll find it by going to facebook.com/PalaRadioVagabond. And now, back to the show. When we finally managed to get the 8 small PDF files printed, it was 3:30. And since we were hungry and knew from the day before that most restaurants are closed between 4 and 6, we rushed to a place to get a panini. This is Thursday, and this being a Muslim country, everything would be closed on Friday, so we decided to call it a day, or call it a week, and go looking for a place to rewind and maybe find a party somewhere.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
And I can take anything you can throw at me, and nothing can get me down. Life is looking so bright, the sun is up again. I'm feeling like I could fly. No clouds in my way, no. And I'm living the good life. And I'm living the good life now. I'm living the good life, and nothing can get me down, no.
Before we continue our visa hunt in Rabat, let's go back to continue my chat with Edvard, so you get to know the guy I'm going to be traveling with for a while. He's got an adventurous spirit, as you'll hear now. He grew up in a small town in Denmark.
So I grew up in a very small town in Denmark. It's called Bramming, and all my friends are, now carpenters or electricians or mechanics. Blue collar, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. It's just it was not my future in life. So I traveled a lot. I went to different boarding schools. I spent 5 years in boarding schools. Did my high school, didn't enjoy it. Went working in sales and fundraising for a long time. And then my friend, you know what? It's funny. It's always a friend doing it. I remember she wrote on Facebook, "I'm gonna go to Southeast Asia. Who wants to come with me?" And I just met her a month before, working in Greenpeace.
So how long ago was that?
That was when I was 21. So that's no wait, I was younger. I was 20 or 19.
Yeah. So,
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, I'll come with you. I just met her. She seemed nice. She was pretty as well. So I don't mind traveling with a pretty girl in Southeast Asia. We went to Thailand. We went to Malaysia. After 2-3 months, she went home, and I was like, I want to keep going. So I went to Cambodia. I went to Vietnam. And again, I don't know what it is, but I like to have these extreme moments. So on my 21st birthday, I remember this very clearly because it was my birthday. 21st birthday, I booked the flight from Vietnam to Australia. My card was blocked. I'd forgotten the PIN, so my credit cards were blocked. I could buy the ticket online to Australia. I arrived on a Sunday morning on my birthday, 21st, with no money, no credit card, no plan. In a new country. And it was a public holiday, so everything was closed, embassy was closed. And Melbourne Airport was 2 hours away from the city center. So I had to get to the city center, and to get to the center you had to get a bus. And the bus was $16, which I didn't have because I had no money. So I was in Melbourne Airport and had to get to the city center.
Before we continue with the story, let me remind you that this episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels around the world in one simple search. Now back to the show. So
I love the plug. It's a good site. I love it too. I use it all the time.
So you're in Melbourne Airport.
Yeah.
Without any money.
Yeah.
And you need to get to the city center.
And I remember at this time, I'm like, this is my birthday. This is not the way to be spending your 21st birthday. But it was exciting, and I was like, okay, I'm here. How am I gonna manage this? And I for some reason I knew that I was gonna figure it out. And so I was like, how can I get money? Well, authorities are a good place to go to. So I found a policeman. I asked him, can you help me out? He's like, well, what do you need? Like, I need an embassy, I need a bank, I need someone I can talk to get some money. He's like, everything's closed, but we have this little glass jar for our tea money. Like when they put in money for their tea, you can have the money there. I was like, okay, how much is that? It's $5. Not enough for the bus. So okay, I had a little bit of money now. I had some money for food and whatever, and I then went out to the road, and I found some taxis, and I was like, can I convince some of them to drive me for free? No, they would not take me for free. But a very nice Japanese couple were going into the city in a taxi, and they took me with them for free.
Wow.
Yes, so now I moved. I was from the airport, I was into the city. I still didn't have a place to stay though, so I found a hostel where I negotiated that they would keep my camera in deposit until I could pay them for staying there. So I deposited my camera as a deposit for staying there, and
So you just went to a random hostel?
I went to a random hostel. And I was hungry, so I got some instant noodles from the 7-Eleven. I made those in the hostel with some water that I got from the hostel, and then I went around the city and saw the sights and was like that. I can remember this as well, because I walked down, saw some sights, and I saw this magician who did some tricks, and I was like, it's my birthday, this is like my birthday show, it's very exciting. And for some reason I gave him 50 cents. I had $5, I gave him 50 cents of the money I had, because I was like, you know what, I have enough to give him 50 cents. I didn't have any other money, but I gave it to him. And then in the evening, I used that it was my birthday in a bar, where I said, it's my birthday, does anyone want to buy me a drink? And turns out it's very easy getting free drinks when it's your birthday.
Oh.
Good trick if you're ever in a place.
I don't know if it works when you're 53, but yeah.
If you're charming enough, I think everything works.
and it works even better if you're a girl.
Yes. Oh yeah. That then it's no problem if it's your birthday or not.
Birthday all year round.
Yeah, birthday all year round. So yeah, I met some people there, I hung out, and then within a couple of weeks I had a job. Not the best job in the world, but it was a paying job, and started getting money.
Doing what?
I had different jobs. One of them was telemarketing, of course, because you can always get a job in telemarketing. It's very easy. And the other job I had when I was there was driving around, following vans around. So he told us, this guy who I got the job from, he told us that we need to know if our deliverers are doing their job right. So we want you to follow their van around and notice where they're going.
That was before GPS.
That was before GPS, and I think in hindsight what it was competition. Like, he was seeing the competitors where they were like dropping off their products. That was a fun job.
Wow.
I got to drive around, follow someone around. I lost him 2 times though, so it wasn't the best at my job, but yeah, odds and ends. And then eventually I got a job in fundraising again, and I worked in fundraising for a sales company there. Again, working for Oxfam, Charity Cross, Mission Australia, and I actually worked there as a team leader and kind of built my own little organization there for the year I was there.
But I thought you only get a 3-month visa to Australia.
No, I had a working visa. I had the working holiday visas for a year.
Cool.
Yeah. And that was sort of like, that's when I think my travel journey really started. And then I've been on and off going to events, going networking, going traveling, holidays and all this. But like this, I haven't done this for then 10 years. And now I'm back on the road again, and it's some days are amazing, other days are difficult and really rough. Mm-hmm. But the experience overall, you like, it's incredible. what I find is that when you travel and when you go places and when you do new things and you have new experiences, every day is like a week, and a week is like a month. So the last 2 months has been like a year.
I found, especially in the beginning, that time is different when you're traveling as a digital nomad, because in one way I felt like time had moved so fast, because I thought, oh, where did the last 2 or 3 months go? At the same time, it felt like a year or 2 years, because I've had seen so much and had so many experiences. So time is funny that way when you travel.
Yeah. And I think what it is, in terms of my understanding, is that when we make new memories and we see new experiences, we form new connections. And if I'm at home in Denmark and I'm going to work, I'm doing the same thing, I go to work 8 to 5, I do the same job, meet the same people, next day do the same thing. I do that every single week. The amount of new memories and new experiences formed is very limited. I might, see a new movie and that will give me an experience. I might go to the theater, that will give me an experience. But when I'm here, every day I'm meeting a new kind of person, or I'm seeing, some crazy experience on the street. The hostel I was staying in now, where in the morning I have this guy singing and waking me up, which was horrible, but it was definitely an experience I'll remember. Going out on the street, there's horse poop everywhere, there's donkeys walking around.
A ton of cats.
A ton of cats, a whole horde of cats going around. There's so many inputs, and that's just in one day. The smells, the sights, the warmth, everything is different. And it's the same. I went. Istanbul was warm. Then I was in Rome. It was cold. It was rainy. Now I'm in Morocco. It's warm and it's heating. Like we're sitting there sweating.
It was quite cold yesterday, and then especially the day before. But today it's okay. Now I can feel what it's all about.
Yes, exactly. And the evenings here get cold. But during the day, and when you're out in the sun, you get sunburned. You walk up how often do you walk up a mountain in Denmark in the middle, like in the sun? It's not an experience you get a lot of. So here, if you travel, you're on the road. Every single week, it's new experiences. It's a new place. It's a new bed. New surroundings, new people, new language.
That's all we have time for in this episode. I've got more here from Morocco next Monday. My name is Palle Bo. See ya.